Yo, what is up? I know I haven't been around in a while. I've been putting off making videos. I've just been getting kind of bored of it. Like, I don't know. It's not. I have no games to play, so I just don't have like fun recording. It's kind of they go hand in hand for me, and I don't want to make it a chore because then I just get bored of like just burnt out completely. But I wanted to make a video, and I'm gonna be addressing Ori, and gonna talk on the forums about what I've about this relic called West Wind, and then my thoughts on it, and then how players are playing right now compared to before. So to start off, uh, I'd like to say this footage that you're watching. I know it's bad quality. It's from a stream that I had going, just to get some gameplay, just real quick of West Wind, the Western Relic, and on Great Goblin, which I thought would be the best because the low cooldowns. So yeah, and all right. So to start it off, Ori. I know Ori is he's been played a lot, and especially in mid, which is kind of weird because before early on he was like never played, never really picked up, besides on very specific team comps, and he was never played to to mid, to gank, to set up kills. And I think people are doing that because they see these changes that happen, which were in I believe the third to last updates. It was all they changed was the casting time on his A and his on his damage, his dot, and his shield. And they also increased the duration of his shield by 1 second. Didn't buff the amount of you get from your shield. They just increased how long your shield stays active, which I mean it was necessary because before he was getting dumpstered, like it was hard to even trade like early on. He's just so weak. And I would actually say late game he is kind of lackluster, but I'll tell you why for me personally is because his ultimate. I mean, in theory, his ultimate sounds great. It's AoE stun. It hits the whole entire team if you're able to do it right. And like in some, if it was like some crazy, if you were able to get under their entire team, like they face check the bush or something, I mean that's a kill right there. That's GG. But that never really happens. And usually, what ends up happening to an Ori ultimate is it gets interrupted because here's the why I don't like Ori. It's because every single Guardian in this game has some form of CC or to stop that ultimate. Like I would understand what if there was like champions that didn't have or sorry, Guardians that didn't have uh if like CC wasn't as common as it is, I would see Ori being really good because it's hard to stop it, but it's pretty easy to stop. Even though and you do that even though you're stunned. Let's say you stun and you get stunned by his ultimate, but you manage to get a taunt off. Like your anim in this game, it's not like you get stunned instantly, like, and it stops your animation from going off. Like your taunt will still go off even if you're stunned. Like, and your ultimate is completely wasted and your team fighting has just gone from good, from really good to really, really bad because I mean you might do a lot of damage to squishies with your combo, your AX, your burst, but in reality what really happens is their front line is the one that's usually on first and you could probably take a fourth of their health away with your burst. But what will really clean you up is their backline, which, I mean, you could argue that, well, you're a really good Ori and you hit their backline, but I mean, if I'm talking about like even skill, like you won't be able to really hit that backline and really chunk them for half their health. You won't be able, it's like, it won't really happen. So what usually ends up happening is you stun their front line and their back line ends up, interrupting your CC somehow. It's a one, and the big part of it also I found is if you're in like the end part of Ori's ultimate, like the very rim, the stun comes out like the stun uh it's not like a continuous stun. Like it drops off and then gets reapplied. It's kind of like you can walk out of it eventually. If you're tight in the middle, it would be like a perma stun, but on the outer rim, it's like you don't really get stunned like that. You can kind of walk out and use abilities if you're really quick with it. And that like if that right there is like another reason why I don't like Ori, because it's just so easy to stop. Like what makes him a terror is its ultimate, and if you can't stop, if it's easily stopped, like why? What's the point? You know, why even play the character? There's better characters that do better, like Mozgog. Fears the entire team instant. It's like I mean, it won't be a super long stun, but it does a lot of damage. Trade off his damage, and it's just better played mid, and he dumpsters Ori mid early on, and probably even late game if you build him tank because he won't be chunking him long, and he can only trade for however long his shield is up, which is 4.5 seconds. So I mean, it's not like it's huge, but I mean, that's I honestly don't know why people pick Ori. There is way better picks than Ori. It's just his team fighting is lackluster, and I just feel like he's just below average Guardian. Like there's definitely, I mean, he's good, but there's better picks. There's top tier. There's way better. Like Mozgog mid, Lugmole mid, top tier right there. All right, so onto the actual relic. I don't know why this was brought up on the forums. This relic sucks for a reason, and the reason being is the 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 problem with the six abilities. You have to use five, and then on your sixth, you actually get the damage off and heal. Which I mean, it sounds good, but the way you line it up is you have to use six abilities and then do it. So you're basically only allowing one use on a team fight. And this damage, it's somewhere upwards around 200 and something, 240, 200 something like that. Sorry if I'm wrong, but I'm not really looking at the numbers right now, but it's somewhere up around there. And it's also mitigated by your your resistance. So the front line is not even gonna it's gonna tickle them. It's not even gonna hurt. And their back line, yeah, it'll hurt them, but usually when you initiate with that, most people initiate. All right, and here's the big problem. I just want to say this is like the why I think it's really bad. The it's the problem is when you initiate, usually initiate with full health. You don't initiate with like half health. Um, so what ends up happening is you use this relic and half the utility of it is gone. It's wasted. Like what's the point? Like you're just using this for damage. You know, why not just use Fell Riders, get more damage, stack more AP. If you're not gonna I mean, the only thing I see this actually being good in is laning, but by level 8 to trade and by like in terms of healing, like you hit monsters, you trade with them, you get your health back. But by level 8 was because it's a 4 slot relic, you'll get it at level 8 and trading wise, it's really good, but laning is over by level 8. It's like there's at least like one tower gone and it's a lot of roaming going on. So laning phase is like almost non-existent there. So again, there's no point in using this. There's like no viable area. You can't use it first because by level 8, your laning is gone. I mean, you'll have damage, by, but I mean, like again, I said the heal has gone to waste, and there might be like I use Great Goblin because he had a really low cooldown. You could just spam it, his abilities, and but with characters like Great Goblin, you put Bjorning Strength first to stack his health, so he can actually get tanky and really utilize his kit with this heal. So if you use like other relics first and then you use Westwind last, like you're already going into super late game and like there's better there's a better if you're in super late game, there's always a better kit to have than Westwind. You know, there's like you're not really maximizing. I mean, if you're snowballing, anything can be good, really. You could do free shoot, AP, Haldir. If you're snowballing, you have like 5 kills, you're gonna win. But I mean, in terms of like, if they get into late game too with their like solid comps, you're gonna lose. And I also hear people say, what if you put 5 people? What if you get 5 people, 4 people to run this? And it's like you'll instantly burst a squishy. Okay, I mean yes, that's true. You'll probably burst them for half their health. But let's think about this really. What in reality, what really happens is you won't get to a squishy. Like they stay behind their front lines. Like again, we're talking about like even skill. So if you're dumpstering someone, it's probably because they suck, and there's a reason why they're losing. But that shouldn't be happening in reality. You shouldn't be getting to the front line so easily. They should be protected behind, their Witch King, their Great Goblins, their Mozgogs. So, I mean, you usually hit a tank first with that and maybe get one or two one off usually after when it's initiated if you have enough people running it. Um, and I hear people running it on Bilbo so it's easier to even kill them. That's squishy, but Bilbo's a whole nother story. But I'm gonna touch on that in a little bit. Um, but it's just hard to work out like in reality. In paper, it sounds good. It always sounds good. Like these numbers are amazing, but that's just not what happens. That's not what happens. Like in a real game, that doesn't happen. And this relic is just below average. It's always been that way because of the way you can't use it more than once in a team fight. Like if you were able to use it like twice, I would actually see, all right, it's average. It's pretty good. It's pretty good because then you initiate, you get the health, and then you can get your full health again. It's actually become a pretty good relic, but you're just wasting that heal that, you know, that basically is half the relic. You're just wasting half the relic, and you could have been just using another one and really utilizing it to its fullest, you know? And I haven't done the numbers, but I'm guessing if you run a full AP build and instead of on like say Lugbull, instead of using like Westwind on Lugbull, you're gonna be doing more damage because you can get in a fight you can probably get 2 sets of your spells off, but you won't be able to get 2 sets of Westwind procs off. So it's kind of you know I feel like you're losing damage. But I haven't done the numbers, but I'm pretty sure you're losing damage. So um onto the third topic, which I want to talk about is Bilbo and how he translates into the way people play right now. And the way people play is more focused on you know, what is it? Individual stats. They care about the wins. And I say this because I've been playing since the beginning, and I've been playing. Uh, didn't really do a lot towards the middle, but then towards the end, I played a little bit and played some scrims or whatnot. And I really get to see how these players like change. There's some good things they take away from it, and then there's some bad things. But mostly I don't know. Mostly they're all bad personally. because they're not used to certain comps. Like if they people bring out like weird things, they just get flustered or I don't know what it is, and they just they choke up and lose. They just make dumb mistakes. A good example, I'm no trash talk here, but I mean, I remember I was playing with Oregon grown striker player or Hot Deers or what he usually plays, and I was playing Nori, and he didn't know what to do versus like a Hildefon's lane. He kept trying to push and try to get a tower kill, but that's not how you play the lane. You play to roam, and you play to shut down the mid lane roaming because you won't be able to push a tower with a Hildefon's Lugbo or whatever. I think they're running like Hildefon's Ori, and they're just insta wiping the wave. Like you can't. It's pretty obvious you can't get a tower kill there. You're gonna have to look mid and put pressure on mid and make sure keep. And I remember we lost because Bilbo got ganks off, and he shouldn't be getting ganks off when our lane should have been roaming because we weren't able to get a tower. You should push the if you can't pressure a lane but you're able to roam, you should be pressuring the other lane next to you. It's not. It's pretty simple, and he just failed to do that. And I've seen that quite a bit. It's not just him. I mean, I'm pretty sure maybe he learned how to do that now. But I mean, you see those things a lot. Like it's kind of like they're used to playing against certain things, the popular guardians, and that's fine and all. But when people play to counter pick you, they just don't know what to do. They get choked up, and I mean that's what happens. And I see, and then there's a lot more Bilbos. I also want to say there's a lot more Bilbo mids. Like that champion wasn't played. Like I mean, I can see why it's really good. I can see why it works sometimes, but my opinion of the champion is if you have good team communication, I know he can stealth out of the lane, but it's pretty apparent which lane he's gonna go because it's the lane pushed up. The one you don't gank a lane on the tower. Like that doesn't happen. Like you don't. I mean, unless they're really weak, you can't like really tower dive two people, and expect to everyone to live. So I mean, it's pretty obvious which lane he'd go into. I mean, it's not rocket science, and the lack of communication is due to the lack of actual serious teams, like the serious teams being played. It's not like they don't try to win. They don't try hard. But it's just a lack of experience right there. It's not actually, I'm sorry, not lack of it. It's just lack of a serious team. Like I was saying, they don't take it serious. But how can you expect to improve if you're not taking your game serious? It's just doesn't happen. That's not how it works. So you see these Bobos getting played mid because it's more of a these games resemble more of a EBG style of play. It's just kind of individual. You focus on yourself. You hope the enemy team isn't communicating, and you can get that easy kill. And you can snowball from there. You can snowball off even one kill in this game. It's very snowbally. And the whole sets team fight because it used to be pick mids that have good ganking and can set up good team fights like Mozgov because you're able to taunt a whole team and then fear them all. It's that whole CC chaining that doesn't really happen not anymore. It's like you don't see like, all right, I'm a Nori ultimate into, a Great Goblin taunt, and like the whole time they won't be able to play for like, 4 seconds. We should get the fight. We should get you know, the game from there. But you don't see that. It's more of like I'm gonna play individually and get a lot of kills on Bilbo, and hopefully they don't get to late game because I'm snowballing. And I'm gonna pick, Elrond. I contribute almost nothing. Stuff like that. I don't. I'm sorry, not Elrond. A good individual thing that's Barrow White Lord and contribute nothing. I have no. My team fight is my death. The fact that I can't be killed. It's like the lack of communication is there. So a Barrow White Lords are able to go into a full, team and get kills, even though they should be chaining their CC on him. It's kind of like, that lack of communication, that lack of team experience, and focus more on individual play. I mean, these guys, these people playing right now, they're really good at individual. They're just as good as like before, as the players before. Individually, they've been playing just as long, but their team coordination is just not there because they never had it. Like, I don't know. That's like the only way to really explain it. It's kind of, but yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I know I kind of went off on a. Actually, no, I think I hit some solid points. Yeah, one and yeah, and in terms of my channel right now, I don't really plan on doing a lot more videos. It's just whenever, sparingly, whenever I have them. Whenever I have like, the urge. Right now it's Christmas break, so I'm able to make, videos whenever I want, but I don't know. I just haven't found the time. Not found the time, just found the drive. So yeah, I mean, I want to upload another one, but I don't know what. I was thinking maybe a Gothmog video you guys will be able to see, but I don't know. I have fun with that class with CC reduction, by the way. Try that out. It's really, really fun. So yeah, expect this, I think, yeah, yeah, expect to see. Actually, I don't want to make any promises. Just keep it at that. But yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. Hope it was fun. I do I do stream. I will link the stream on my description, but I don't have a set schedule, but I made a Twitter and the Twitter announces when I stream, so I'll put that as well in the description. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Post any questions you have in the comments, because I do and I do like reading comments. I read a lot all the comments that everyone posts, but I mean, I don't really answer them all. I mean, if they're like really good, well thought out questions, I'll answer them for sure, for sure, for sure. But if they're just like troll comments, I usually just leave them alone. But alright, I hope you guys liked the video. I'll just let the gameplay just play out because the game's almost over. Take it easy, guys. See ya.